Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, no, I didn't redecorate my room. I'm actually finally traveling again. I'm not going to tell you where just yet. I'm going to let you guess. So some people had a hint the other day. I'll mention in a future video where they got that hint from, but I'm going to show a picture. Here, let me show you this picture. Okay, I'm going to drop some hints. Can anyone tell where I am? By this sculpture. And can anybody tell me where I am from that picture? Leave a comment down below if you know. And in the meantime, well, there is some cruise news. So first off, let me talk about a headline that went out again on some media that makes it look like cruise ships are doing damage again. And look at those nasty cruise ships here. Let me read the exact quote. It's "Fury on beautiful Greek island as giant wave from cruise ship injures swimmers on the beach." Again, folks, it's those nasty cruise ships in Greece. Well, unfortunately for them, it's a completely false story, sort of. It's very misleading because it's not a cruise ship. It was actually a fast ferry. A fast ferry navigated too close to shore, and of course those things go much faster than cruise ships. I was looking at that going, how could a wave cause havoc on a like giant wave, cause so much wave that it injures? Because they go, when they're going by beaches and that, they're going very slow and they're going way far out. Well, the fast ferry navigated too close, and of course they go much faster and sent a giant wave into the beach, having people scramble to grab their belongings before they got washed out to sea. Not only that, a few people in the water got injured and splashed around, so much so that one woman apparently even had her ribs broken. Well, the ferry continued on into port, where the captain was met by police and actually arrested on site. But I also wanted to point out, first of all, hope the people there are okay and the woman's doing well. But again, there's that headline that seems to be easy to capture the headline, right? Cruise ship causes injuries on, and if you only peruse the headlines and don't really get into the story, well, you're going to think a cruise ship did it, and it didn't. It was one of the ferries that they rely on to get from island to island and transport goods. And there are, yes, a couple cabins on board, but they're not cruise ships. But yeah, they're going to headline it as cruise ships to get those clicks. I also have some good news coming from Australia for a change. Instead of the, raising of fees and the cut down on cruise ships and the cruise ships not coming anymore and B&O Cruise Lines not being there anymore, they've had nothing but some bad news lately. Well, the cruise port of Eden in Australia has just gotten permission from the government to expand their cruise port there. They're looking to capture more of their market. Now, currently, they have a cap on them, and that cap is 60 cruise ship visits a year. Well, now that they're expanding the cruise port, not only can they take in bigger ships, but they've also expanded that limit. They're no longer going to have a cruise ship limit of 60. They also had a limit of 332 meter cruise ship. Now that's expanded up to 370, I believe, meters. So a much larger ship is now allowed to go into the port of Eden. They're looking to capture more market, and that's a good way to do it. Expand your cruise port to get the bigger ships allowing in there. Good on them, and it looks like finally some good news coming from the Australian market. Next, we have a report coming out on the Icon of the Seas, the largest cruise ship in the world. Now, she currently holds 7,600 passengers based on double capacity. Well, that seems like a lot of people on a cruise ship, but the ship does such a good job of spreading out people, and the atrium is so large that it seems expansive and it can easily hold that amount of people. Well, currently it is sailing at 132% occupancy, 1/3 more. So over 2,000 passengers more on every sailing than 7,600. Close to 10,000 passengers on every sailing currently on the Icon of the Seas. I told you it's selling out well, and you wonder why Royal is building large ships. That's the reason. If you can get 132% capacity on a ship, you're making the buck. You're making the big dollars. And finally, I'm not sure who they're talking about here, but somebody on social media has come out and said that Carnival Cruise Line is going to start requiring all passengers to have a passport. Now, that I've never heard of happening, and that is definitely not the case. Now, if you're going to a country that requires a passport, like you're going into Europe, or you're going into China and Japan, yes, you're going to need a passport. However, if you're sailing out of the United States and you're going into most destinations like Canada, up into Alaska, or up into Mexico, into the Caribbean, you can do it with a valid government ID and birth certificate. You don't need necessarily a passport. Now, the cruise line does stress it's always better to have a passport. Some people are so against getting a passport when it costs like $200 for 10 years. I mean, what can you buy that's good for 10 years anymore for $200? And if you actually need your passport in a certain area, it is so much easier. For instance, you miss the ship. If you're traveling around in a Caribbean country and you miss the ship and can't get back, and all you have is a driver's license, it can be a mess to try and book flights. You have to go to through diplomacy, and you have to go to the embassy, and you have to do all this other stuff, where if you have a passport, you just need to go to the airport. And that's as simple as that. So that's why they stress it. I know people are really set against it. I'm not sure why they're against getting a passport. I don't understand. If you don't have the money, I understand. But I know people who are sailing in suites on their cruise ships who refuse to get a passport. I don't know the reasoning. It's something that's out there that I'm unaware of. But definitely, Carnival is not forcing people to absolutely need a passport for all cruises. If it's a closed loop cruise, and you can get away with just your valid ID and everything, that's good. Now, the one ID they are stressing that is not valid for going on a cruise, a student card ID is not a valid ID. And also, taking a picture of your driver's license is not a valid ID. Photos can be cropped, photos can be photoshopped. No. You have to actually have the document in front of you to go on a cruise. Let me know in a comment down below. Do you know why people don't want to get a passport if it's not the money reasoning? Because I'm not aware, and it could be something out there that I'm completely unaware of living in Canada. But yeah, there you go. And also, where am I? Have you guessed it yet? Did somebody let the cat out of the bag just the other day? Let me know in the comments down below, and until next time, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation. Suitcase is having a good time.